Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Prabhupada ki राधा श्याम सुंदर की गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल
Five minutes.
7:30. 7:30.
10 minutes.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna everybody Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Premanande.
Can all come little forward, please? Allow everybody. We have lots of space here.
We expected more guests. Hare Krishna. So, welcome to Govardhan Puja and Damodar Deepdam Festival. So today is the day that Krishna, when he was 7 years old, lifted the Govardhan hill. And this is a most auspicious month of Kartik month, where we offer a deep to Lord Damodar. We have a very special guest today for enlightening us. Welcome His Grace Sauri Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So Prabhuji is a disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada is the founder of ISKCON, who at the age of 69 came to US on a cargo ship, a free ticket, but he with a mission to spread Bhagavad Gita and the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam in English. He was 69 years old. He practically had only $8 with him and a 4-month tourist visa. And then in 1965 he came. 1966 he established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, called ISKCON. When he was coining this, there were only 12 people with him, and he was in the lower east side of New York downtown, and surrounded by young people who were very sincere but who were lost in life. So, and then Prabhupada opened around 108 centers all around the world and initiated more than 5,000 disciples before he left to Krishna Loka in 1977. In a short 11-year, what we call it, decade. He did superhuman things, wrote about 80 volumes of books, translated Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, gave more than 1,000 lectures, traveled around the globe 14 times, establishing centers. So one of those 5,000 fortunate people we have with us is the Sauri Prabhu, who met Srila Prabhupada when he was 19 years old. Got initiated with him in 1976, and since then, for the past 50 years, engaged in chanting the holy names of the Lord. Every day morning he gets up by 3 o'clock and chanting 16 rounds. Have served in many temples, distributed Srila Prabhupada's books, and served in many managerial positions also. Right now, he and his wife, Bhadre Shamla Mataji, lives in Prabhupada village, a rural community 2.5 hours drive from here. They have come here on our request to give us this association. So we welcome you, Prabhuji and Mataji. Thank you so much for being with us here and enlightening us. So let's say 3 times Hari Bol.
Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Jai Raja Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Raja Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Devaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Gopi Jana His Divine Grace, Abhayatara Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Shri Govardhan Puja ki. Gaur Premanandi. So it's a great honor and actually a blessing to be able to speak to all of you. No one likes to be embarrassed, right? So if you're up here, you better be able to speak something. Otherwise, you're making a fool out of yourself, right? So, since I was asked to give some kind of a talk to all of you, for the last 5 or 6 days, I have been reading about Govardhan Puja. And, you formulate something in your mind, what you're going to say, and you make what's called a game plan. But when it comes down to it, you really don't know what's going to happen. It's always, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya taham pranishanavisto Mataksmitir Jnanapohanamsha. That Krishna says, I am in everyone's heart. And I am the source of knowledge, wisdom, and forgetfulness. So, if Krishna wants to make a fool out of you, he has that facility. He can make you forget everything. It's actually amazing. This pastime of Govardhan Puja reveals that. Is everyone familiar here with the pastime of Govardhan? Is anyone not familiar with the pastime of Govardhan Puja? Everyone here is familiar with it?
No, but many may not know in detail.
Okay. All right. So this is a pastime when Krishna was on this planet 5,000 years ago. In the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Yada yada yadharmasya glanir bhavati bhagata abhutanam adharmasya tadamanam sujamya. That whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious practice and a predominant rise of irreligion, I myself advance millennium after millennium. So Krishna, he comes on a regular basis to this material world. If he didn't come, this place would be much worse off than it is. So it's a requirement. Because in the material world, the tendency is toward degradation. In the material world, things don't get better. Things get worse. Just like you buy a new car. When you first get it, it works great. Then you put 200,000 miles on it in 5 years, and you start having problems. All right. Similarly, we're born into this world, and we get these brand new bodies, and they work pretty good for the first few years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, things start happening slightly. 50 years, a little more problems. 60 years, more problems. 70 years, more problems. And it gets worse and worse. So this is the nature of the material world. Luckily, if one takes up spiritual life, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayogita Janiyat Yasuvaragyam Gyanam Sayad Ahaitukam. That if one practices, one automatically develops knowledge and detachment. So you learn how to kind of like roll with the punches in the material world and don't get disturbed. So just like this pastime of Govardhan Puja. This is a pastime when Krishna was present, and at that time he was only 7 years old. And in his pastime, he's 7 years old. He's playing the part of a human being. So he appears to take birth, he appears to grow, and he crawled, and then he started walking, and okay, so he grew to be 7 years old, but he wasn't an ordinary 7-year-old. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And at this particular time, the King of Heaven, Lord Indra, was getting a little bit proud. And there's a saying, pride cometh before the fall. So Krishna wanted to humble Lord Indra, the King of Heaven. So he, in the village where Krishna appeared, Vrindavan, how many people have been to Vrindavan? Okay. I've been there quite a few times, believe it or not. He was it's just a village, and they were mainly cowherd. They were doing business with cows, selling milk and milk products, put it like that. But they were, at that particular time, 5,000 years ago, You can make a pretty good living selling milk and milk products. Quite opulent. They had a very rural but opulent situation. So, on a regular basis, in this village of Vrindavan, the elders would regularly worship Lord Indra because they were dependent on Lord Indra to supply rain, because their livelihood, the cows eat grass, and if it doesn't get water, it doesn't grow. Okay, and if the cows can't eat grass, they can't produce milk. So therefore, they were very much indebted, apparently, to Lord Indra, because he supplies. He's a demigod in charge of rainfall. But Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as they were preparing for this sacrifice, which is very elaborate, he went up to his father and he said, what's going on here? You know, and his father he's a 7-year-old, you know, so you can't take a 7-year-old. So, you know, it's not so, you don't really have to go into an elaborate, we're preparing to sacrifice for Lord Indra. And he goes, well, tell me about it. I want to know the details. Is this authorized by the scriptures? Is, have the previous saints have they recommended this? So on and so forth. And he goes, we've been doing this for generations in our family. And because we're cowherds, and we're completely dependent on Lord Indra for rainfall. And Krishna said, no, you're not. The rain will come regardless if you worship Lord Indra or not. Just like the rain is coming, there's storms in the ocean, and you don't need water there. So why are you worried about it? The rain's going to come according to your pious or impious activities in the past. The rain will come. So he started giving this karma, what's called karma mimamsa philosophy, which is basically all based on karma. That everyone gets what they deserve from what they've done in the past. It's all about karma without God. So Krishna, just like he is a worshipable personality, regardless of what he does. He goes out in the middle of the night with unmarried girls, he's worshipable. He steals butter from other people's houses, and he's worshipped for it. And he speaks bogus philosophy, and his father can't defeat him, and he's worshipable for speaking bogus philosophy, untrue philosophy. So this is one of the lessons we get from this pastime. Another valuable lesson is that we don't need to worship the demigods. It's not necessary. It's described by Narada Muni in the Srimad Bhagavatam. He says, just as if you take food and you put it in your mouth and then you swallow it and it goes to your stomach, then automatically every part of your body becomes nourished. If you try to take food and just, squeeze it with your hand, you'll die if you don't put it in your mouth eventually. Okay. So, and also, in the same sloka, he says, and just like you water a plant on the roots. They put the water in the pot and it goes in, and the roots drink it. Then automatically all the branches and all the leaves and every part of the plant is sustained. So similarly, if you worship Krishna, then automatically everyone is satisfied. You don't have to worship anybody else. Of course, you have to worship the spiritual master, because Krishna, he recommends that you do not approach me directly, you approach me through the Guru. So that is the process of spiritual life. And this pastime, when Krishna persuaded his father and his friends and relatives not to worship Lord Indra, and he said, actually we are dependent on Govardhan Hill. I mean, Govardhan Hill gives everything to us. All the grass grows on Govardhan Hill. There's water coming down Govardhan Hill. There's Govardhan Hill is where it sustains us. So let's take all this paraphernalia that you all collected, and instead of worshiping Lord Indra, worship Govardhan Hill. And he gave some specific direction. Here he is, a 7-year-old boy. And in this pastime of Krishna, when he appears 5,000 years ago in Vrindavan, his parents were a little bit older when they had Krishna. They were having difficulty having children. And so he has great, but here is a 7-year-old son telling him, don't worship Lord Indra, and giving very strong logical arguments why not, and convincing him and everybody else to worship Govardhan Hill. So they got all the paraphernalia, and all the households in the whole area started making preparations, food preparations, and they performed this puja in a very elaborate and in a very festive way. Lots of music, lots of food, lots of dancing. And when they were offering the food to Govardhan Hill, a form of Krishna appeared and started, actually in front of everyone's eyes, eating all the food. It was accepted by Govardhan Hill, the personality of Govardhan Hill, which is Krishna. But they didn't know that. All right? And so everyone, and Krishna told everyone, okay, let's all pay our obeisances to Govardhan. So he paid his obeisances. He paid his obeisances to himself, basically speaking. And everyone followed him. And this was a very festive day, an amazing thing. A form of Krishna appears right before their eyes and eats the offerings, and then he said, give me more, Anior, Anior. And it was, the food was gone that they offered to him, but they offered more, and there was plenty of food for everybody. So that's a lesson also, is that you offer your life to Krishna, then automatically everything will be taken care of. You think you're going to give everything, you have all your money and all your life, and then you're going to be bereft? No, it's actually the opposite. That they offered so much food to Govardhan, and he ate it, but there was plenty left more for everybody. And so much so that everybody got fed, from the Brahmins to the Kshatriyas to the Vaishyas to the Sudras, and to the animals, the dogs, and the dog eaters. So Krishna, he is equal to everyone. Samoham sarvabhuteshu, name dveshu stinapriya. That he is equal to everyone. But he is specially inclined towards his devotees. That is natural. If someone is very, very friendly with you, you may be a very nice person to everybody. But if someone befriends you and is kind to you and maybe gives you good advice, then you are especially inclined to that person. That is natural. So Krishna is very inclined towards his devotees, even though he's equal to everybody. So in this way, we can take another lesson from this Govardhan Leela, that we should never think ourselves above everybody, like Indra. If you do that, you're in trouble. You know, you may not get what Indra got, which I'll tell you later, quite a severe reaction. So I'll tell you about that now. What happened is Lord Indra got very angry at the residents of Vrindavan, you know, and he told us, what is this these villagers doing? Listen to this talkative child, Krishna. He's just an ordinary boy, and you know, they're neglecting my worship. I'm going to punish them. So he called the clouds that carry so much water, so much rain, that they're utilized when it's the time, the pralaya, the destruction of the universe. There is a time when the universe is destroyed, and then it is again rejuvenated later. So it's called the Sangvartika clouds. So we call the Sangvartika clouds, go to Vrindavan and kill all the cows and make everything miserable for the inhabitants there. And he summoned these clouds, and they went, and I will come with you on my elephant carrier, our Aravata. So then they went from the heavenly planets down to this earthly sphere, and these clouds just started pouring rain and hail, and just like pillars of rain, very hard. And the animals and the human inhabitants, they had experienced calamities before, and they would always go to Krishna, and Krishna would provide them relief. So they did this, and Krishna was like, you know, very nonchalant, and it's just like practically a devastation going on. And he says, don't worry, I will help you. So then he left the porch of his house, and he ran to Govardhan Hill, and he picked it up, the hill, with his left hand, and he balanced it on his little finger, a big hill. And this village of Vrindavan had hundreds and thousands of cows and many families. It was quite a what would consider as many people as would be a big city today here. Okay, but it was a rural situation. And so Govardhan Hill, by the potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, under his little, being held up by his little finger, expanded to be 35 miles wide. Okay, and before he picked it up, it was 3 miles wide. like that. That's how big it needed to be to accommodate everybody. All right, this is the mystic potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as he was lifting it up, from the border, the outside rim, some dirt fell down so that no water would come in. And underneath this hill was a valley, and it was very beautiful. There was grass for the cows. There was it was like a heavenly atmosphere under there. And all the inhabitants went, Krishna invited, please come. So everyone went under there. And he lifted the hill with his hand, and the peak went above the clouds. And even the animals that were on the hill didn't experience any discomfort from all the rain. It was mystical. And all the people under the hill, it was for 1 week. They didn't eat, they didn't sleep, and they just looked at Krishna. Because if you have the darshan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that has a special effect. It goes beyond, you transcend the needs of eating and sleeping. All right, you're completely satisfied and nourished just by looking at God. So in this way, everyone was just looking at Krishna for 7 days and 7 nights, and no eating and no sleeping. And Indra was like, wow. I summoned my heavy artillery, my clouds that destroy the universe. And amazing. They're completely happy underneath this umbrella of this mountain. And he's just like, how can this little boy do it? So then Indra came to his senses. This boy is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now Indra, Krishna says, I'm the source of all remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So Indra had some knowledge previously, but then he got proud, and Krishna took away and caused forgetfulness. So then when he was humbled, some of that forgetfulness was removed because he was in a humble state of mind. So in this way, he was really, really sorry for what he did. And he was defeated. So then he called the clouds away, and the clouds retreated, and Krishna arranged so that the rain, although so much rain fell, when it hit the earth, nothing happened. There wasn't a flood like that. And so the houses were still there, everything was fine. So then he says, okay, everybody, we can go home now. The rain stopped. And so they all left the hill, and don't ask me how, because it's beyond the mind's ability to comprehend. Krishna put the hill back. It went from 33 miles back to 3, and he set it down. And he went back to the hill, to home. And under the influence of Yoga Maya, that is the illusory potency of God, Krishna, that he exerts over his intimate associates. His parents thought, oh, he's been holding up this hill for so long. So they started massaging his arm, his left arm, and and his parents were like hugging him and saying, you must be very tired, and things like this. And because Krishna, he likes the relationships when people don't treat him as God. He likes it when people think, oh, you're my child, and the mother, cuddles him and offers her breast for milk, and then he loves to be chastised when he does, like he goes up to and steals butter, and this that's one more pastime that is going on in this month, is this Damodar Leela. This is Govardhan Puja today, but this whole month we worship Krishna actually for being a thief. He steals butter from all the neighbors and feeds the monkeys. And then his mother catches him, and she runs after him with a stick. And God, Krishna, is afraid of his mother. He's a supreme person because he likes these relationships. And then his mother chases after him, and she's running and running, and he's running. And then he eventually allows her, after some period of time, to catch him. Then to punish him. And he's crying, and he's trembling, and he's fearful. And he's seeing this stick. Don't hit me with that stick. That's, you're going to hurt me. And she shows it to him and says, I'm going to tie you up. And because we have to keep you from going and stealing butter from the neighbors. This is not good behavior. And so then she takes some rope to tie him, and it's 2 inches too short. Then she gathers some more rope, and then no matter how much rope she gets, it's 2 inches too short. Things that happen. He lifts up a big hill, they try to tie him up, and they can't tie him up because it's always too short. So many things happen like this, and still they maintain the attitude of Krishna's a little boy, and we love him so much. So this is the potency of Yoga Maya. So similarly, the potency of Mahamaya, that is the illusory energy that we are under. It's different. This makes us think that we are these bodies. Like, I'm an American, you're Indian, you're 20, you're 12 years old, you're 14, you're 36, I'm 70, we think, oh, I have a business, I have so much money, and I have such a nice wife, and I'm, such a great person, and it's all, we take so much importance from this world, not realizing that this world is temporary. There's a pastime in the Mahabharata with Maharaj Yudhishthira and to a yaksha. And the yaksha asks him, what is the greatest thing that you see in this world? What is the most amazing thing that you see in this world? And Maharaj Yudhishthira replies, everybody sees that all around them, people are getting old and people are dying. Death rate is 100%. No one gets out of this world alive. There's no one around that's over I think there's a couple people, maybe there's one person alive now that's 130 years old or something like that, somewhere. A few people, a very few people live even to be 105. The average age is like 84. So we all see this going on, just like me, I'm 70 years old. So many of my, I grew up in Colorado, in the mountains. And sometimes I keep in touch with my childhood friends. And so many of them have died. Just like a couple of days ago, I find out 2 more have died. It's like you get to my age and there's people dying, and that are your friends. But before that, your parents are dying. Maybe older brother dies, or acquaintance parents die, or grandparents are dying. Everyone sees this, but everyone thinks that they will not die. Everyone is going on in life not aware, because they take this world to be, and what they do in this world to be so important. When in the Bhagavad Gita it says, "Ehi sangsvarsadaboga dukkha yanaya evite ajantavanta kunteya natesu ramate guraha." That this material existence is ajantavanta. It comes and it goes. It's one who is intelligent takes the situation in here to be not very important. It's temporary. It comes and it goes. Do you remember the translation? That's okay. Yeah, he seems.
He doesn't delight in objects, sense objects, things that he comes in contact with.
Right. He doesn't, an intelligent person, he's not absorbed in food. He's not absorbed in, that's the tongue. And so thinking that, let's go sightseeing. Let's go see Niagara Falls. How many people have been to Niagara Falls? Yeah. I've been to Niagara Falls too. And it's a big thrill, right? How much pleasure are you getting right now because you saw Niagara Falls? Zero. That's how it is with everything in this world. Doesn't matter how much money you get. It doesn't matter what a nice car you have, what a nice house you have, what a beautiful wife and nice children. You're not going to get any pleasure from these things in the long term. You just get a little pleasure and then it goes, and then you get some pleasure again and then it goes, and then you die and it's gone forever. What's the point of this? This is the material existence. And that's why Krishna comes here. He encourages the living entities to give up this futile endeavor for temporary happiness in this material world and surrender unto Him and follow a devotional life, and you become free from birth and death, and your existence becomes purified, and you at the time of death you're transferred back to the spiritual world, where there's no more birth and death and old age and disease. So this is the teachings of Lord Krishna, and that's why He comes, and that's why He performs these pastimes. Very attractive. It's like how many have been to New York? So many people have been to New York. There's this very popular Broadway called, and so many plays. They're very expert. They do it day in and day out, and they portray all these different plays. You know, they're very famous, like Shakespeare and so on and so forth. And they're very moving, and they produce a lot of emotions in the audience. So Krishna, he is the most expert actor, and he can evoke your emotions like you have never felt before. He's so entertaining. He's so entertaining that simply by chanting his name, you can chant his name every day, day in and day out, and it becomes sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. There's no other name in this world that has that same quality. That is why, you know, it's recommended in the Shastra that we chant God's names, because God is present within his name. And when you chant his name, it purifies the heart. And then you get, when your heart is purified, you relish chanting the name, because you're associating with Krishna through the sound vibration of his name. And that's the first way you come to realize God, is that God is present in his name. So this practice that we do is very important. It's described, Kalo dosha nidhi rajan, asti hi eka mahadguna, kirtanadeva krishnasya, mukta sangha param vrajet. That this Sukadeva Goswami spoke to Maharaj Parikshit, and he said, "O king, Kalo dosha, this age of Kali." Now everyone knows what age of Kali is. Does anyone not know what age of Kali is? Okay, we are in the age of Kali. Okay, who does not know what the age of Kali is?
Stand up if you don't know. Otherwise, if you don't ask, you don't.
Okay, you don't know. Okay, age of Kali is the age we are living in now. There's Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the time when the most sinful people take birth. And you have this, it's described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. In this age of Kali, men have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, they're lazy, they're misguided, unlucky, and above all, their minds are disturbed. Okay? So, I mean, I've been around 70 years this time, and I've seen this world get worse. It doesn't get better. Just like you get a car, it's brand new, and then it gets worse. It doesn't get better. So similarly, the situation in the mature world does not get better, no matter how hard you try. It doesn't, no matter how much money you make, and you buy a house in some rural area and it's very beautiful, but you're in a material body, you're going to get old, you're going to get disease, you're going to suffer, and you're going to die. Okay. But in the age of Kali, there is the base qualities become prominent. There's so much lying, there's so much cheating, there's so much murder, our leaders are corrupt. It is not a nice time to take birth in this age of Kali. It's just not it's not a peaceful atmosphere in this world. There's so many wars, there's so much, problems. So this is the age of Kali. He says, it says, Kaler dosha, it is full of faults. The age of Kali, full of faults. Kaler dosha nidhi rajan, O king. Maharaj Parikshit is the king of the whole planet. This is 5,000 years ago. Kalo dosha nidhi rajan asti hi eka mahaguna. There's one good quality in this age of Kali. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya. By chanting the name of Krishna. Mukta Sangha Param Raja. That one gets full benefit and happiness and satisfaction and purification. This is the age of Kali. It's a very fallen age, and Krishna makes an arrangement that we simply have to we can just simply take his name and chant it and hear it, and it's like you get Govardhan Hill above you. It's raining out there. It's people are getting murdered. People, you're getting old. You're getting diseased. But if you go underneath Govardhan Hill, you're detached. Whatever happens, happens, and you're not disturbed about it. So this is what happens when you take up spiritual life. Automatically, you can be old, and you can be diseased, and you can be dying, but you can be in ecstasy because you have Krishna, and you have Krishna's name, and you have Krishna's devotees, you have nice friendship, and you can go through your life with an umbrella above your head if you constantly, every day, chant Krishna's names, and you will be unaffected by what's going on around you. And things are going around all of us. And it's not a pretty sight. It's not a pretty sight to get old and decrepit and diseased and die. And you watch others, it happens to them, and people are looking at you, and it's happening to you too. I'm not as pretty as I was, or handsome, whatever you want to call it, when I joined the Hare Krishna movement a little bit over 50 years ago when I was 19 years old. I was a handsome young guy. Now it's like, hair falling out, teeth missing, the digestive system doesn't work as good, the body's, it's not a pleasant situation. It's not it's like an old car that, you're on the freeway, and there's an old truck ahead of you, and it's spewing out all this bad odor from it's not working properly. So that's what these bodies, that's what happens. And we have tried to cover it up with using so many perfumes and deodorants and this and that, but it is what it is. And if you do not take up spiritual life and you identify yourself as this body, you're in for a lot of misery. Because the body's going to get old, and the body's going to die, and you're going to suffer because you're attached. Just like a child, if you take away his toy, he's going to freak out. So similarly, if you see your body deteriorating, and which you will, if it hasn't started already, you will do whatever you can to try to make it young again. You'll try to eat the right food, you'll try to go to the gym, you'll try to get operations to look good, but eventually all your endeavors will be futile, and you will have to leave the body behind. And if you utilize this life simply to try to enjoy the body, then you will not be a human being in your next life. Because Krishna designed the human form of life for self-realization. And if you utilize it for that, then you get spiritual credits. You take up spiritual life and you regularly practice spiritual life. It's like you're putting money into a bank account that does not, you do not lose it when you leave your body behind. Your credits carry over to your next birth. And you take up where you left off until you reach perfection. But if you don't, and then you automatically Nihabrakamanasurasti Pratavayo Nividite Swapamapista Dharmasha Trayate Mahatobaya. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, in this endeavor of spiritual life, there's no loss or a diminution. And a little advancement on this path protects one from the most dangerous fear. And the most dangerous fear is that you lose the human form of life. And then you are simply concerned about eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. And you lose your ability to comprehend God. Like that. So, anyway, this is Govardhan Leela gives us Krishna, he by one pastime, he gives us so many different lessons. We can hear in this pastime, we shouldn't worship demigods. We should be equal to all living entities. We should be equal poised in happiness and distress. Can anyone think of any other things that we can learn from this pastime? Oh, that we should forgive. Indra came down and he begged forgiveness, and Krishna forgave him. All right. Does anyone who knows this pastime?
Not offending a devotees.
What's that?
Not offending devotees.
Don't offend the devotees. You get severe reactions for that.
Krishna protects his devotees.
Krishna protects. If you surrender to Krishna, Krishna, he takes care of you. Okay? Anyone know? Yeah.
Worshipping the devotee is higher than worshipping God himself.
Worshipping, yes. Just like this personality of
Govardhan.
Govardhan, he's simultaneously Krishna, and he's a devotee of Krishna. And so Krishna, he says, worship him. He's a devotee. That's more than worship of me. There's a pastime in the Shiva Purana with Parvati. He questioned. She questioned her husband. Aradhanam sarvasham, Vishnu aradhanam para. She says, of all the, what did she ask Lord Shiva? Says, what's the greatest worship? And Lord Shiva said, Aradhanam sarvasham, Vishnu aradhanam para. It's the worship of Lord Vishnu. But then he says, higher than the worship of Lord Vishnu is worshiping the devotees of Lord Vishnu. So Krishna is very happy when he sees you worshiping his devotees. Okay, any other from this pastime?
Krishna, the way Krishna responds when a devotee makes a defect, issue, is different. For example, when Hiranyakashipu got pride, he came as a Narasimha and he teared it apart. Mm. When Indra made a mistake with pride, he responded in a different way.
Yeah.
That he will realize it.
Yeah. So Krishna, he's very clever. And he'll make arrangements for each and every one of us individually to come to him eventually. And you can choose to go to what's called the school of hard knocks. All right. Now, if you want to go to the school of hard knocks, then it's a hard way to learn. But you will learn because you will struggle and you will experience difficulty. But we don't need to do that. All we have to do, just like, I remember I was like 18, 17, 16, 15, and you can see like a trajectory of your life, which way you're headed. If someone is like heavily absorbed in intoxication and can't hold a job and has bad friends and drops out of school, and goes in the street, and what's the trajectory? Not very good. So I can say my trajectory was not very good before I joined the Hare Krishna movement. I don't know what would have happened without Srila Prabhupada coming on this steamship and giving Krishna's message to us in the Western world. I do not know what I would be doing today. It completely changes. I talked earlier, I said something about, I kept in touch with some friends from school. Well, I kept in touch very little, because I have new friends. And I kind of, because you become like your association. So my old friends, many of them are still doing the things they were doing when we were in high school. And I won't tell everyone what we were doing in high school because it's not appropriate.
Oh.
It's like, you people in high school or in junior high, you see what other friends are doing this and that. Okay, you know what's going on. Not good. So, Srila Prabhupada is described, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Patita Pavan. He saves the most fallen first. So Srila Prabhupada came to America and he saved the most fallen first. He went to the hippies. The hippies, they had no qualms about having one girl one night, another girl another night. They had no qualms about completely absorbed in intoxication. That was normal. And don't listen to your parents. Just reject them. That's normal. So that was the atmosphere I was in. And Srila Prabhupada, gave me a new direction, so there's another trajectory. Okay, I'm being cut off here. That's usually my job, and my wife is very angry when I do that to her, but I won't get angry at her. Okay, time to, everyone's hungry, everyone's had enough. Okay. Any questions real quick? Or if everyone wants to take prasad?
No, we have.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Damodar, very good. Yeah, we can sing and we can dance, but we don't need to drink and sing and dance. We can be happy without anything. We're happy within ourselves. Okay. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki. Jai. Govardhan ki.
Jai.
Gaur Premanandi.
Thank you so much for the wonderful lecture and enlightening us on the glories of Govardhan, Damodar, and also the valuable form of human life. We're very inspired seeing how you've dedicated your life and you're happy doing that. So we would like to follow your example. Having been born in India, I feel we should take this opportunity and learn this knowledge that is available and also share with others. And this is great inspiration from you. Thank you so much. So now we will do parikrama, and after that we do the deep gaan before we go for the sadhana.
That's how we describe it.
So we are going to go around this Govardhan hill. If we do this today, it is like going around the Govardhan hill in Vrindavan. We get the benefit. So while they are chanting the kirtan, we chant.
तुलसी रखो गोवर्धन
When we all make a queue, so with the queue we'll move forward and do parikrama here for like 3 rounds of parikrama of the Govardhan. We start with the kids, so all the grown-up kids can line up here. All of you. So please make a queue. Okay, everybody can follow the kirtan. Everybody has to repeat whatever the kirtan has to go. Please chant along the kirtaners. Okay, Haribol, we'll start now. Shri Govardhan ki
Jai!
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody repeat, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, You can continue one more. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
कीर्तन की जय, गिरी गोवर्धन की जय।
We are continuing with the Damodar Aarti.
Anybody left for parikrama can I ask?
Anybody left?
I only left.
Do that. And now please,
No, we'll move this touch.
here to the Lord. Mataji will be saying Damodar Ashtaka.
Can you hold it?
Want me to hold it? పట్టుకుంటా చేతిలో పక్కకి ఇచ్చేస్తా ఓకే Okay, how to do it? Okay. I got you, twin. Is this live, right? You're gonna stand here. I'm cameraing. Hi, Numai.
Come four at a time. There's someone here to give you waters to purify your hands. And then please offer a little lamp to Yashoda and Damodar 7 times. 4 at a time. 4 people at a time can come. Make sure your hands are purified. Is there someone to purify Damodar?
Hare Oh